Astral Aegis. Written by Sylvac. Chapter 16. Bones. Celestia is so getting in the chair when she's not looking next time we meet, I thought to myself as I sat on a cushion with Cadence sitting across from me. She was nervously smiling at me due to the scowl I was giving her after finding out that my first order of business was with her due to Shining needing to take care of some other matters first.
You know, there is something I don't get about this situation,
I finally said to break the silence.
Huh?
Cadence replied, showing to me just how prepared she was in regards to handling me.
Why did Celestia think it was a good idea to send me here for you to help me with my anger issues? I mean, you're a princess. Don't you have some duties that you must attend to that is more important than me? Why couldn't she find another pony whose job is to handle ponies like me? This is just a waste of every pony's time.
Aether, you have to remember that you're a special case.
Are you saying that she thinks I'm messed up in the head? Like, what was that word? Oh, does she think I'm disabled?
I asked, my scowl deepened as my anger grew.
No, it's 'cause you're an alien! Big deal, either pay the pony to stay silent or just have me lie. Besides, after the mob that tried to kill me at my quinceañera, I think the alien issue is already going to be well known soon, if not already.
I replied with a roll of my eyes. Exasperated, Cadence folded her hoof over her chest as she took a deep breath, which reminded me of Twilight's breathing exercise as Cadence followed it exactly like Twilight did.
Aether, while there are ponies that do help other ponies with their anger issues, your past might complicate such a treatment for regular professionals. While I don't have the expertise of a psychiatrist, I've seen my fair share of crazy things to be better able to handle this than most other ponies.
Rubbing a hoof against my chin, I simply shrugged as I replied.
Fine, if that's the way you want it.
This caused Cadence to blink for a moment before she narrowed her eyes at me.
What are you planning? Absolutely nothing. Do you honestly expect me to believe that? I know when a mischievous foal is planning something. Regardless, I know little about you nor Shining, nor do I know this place, so there is no way for me to make any complex plan.
I said, only for Cadence to narrow her eyes even more.
That said, you do have a filly that has the calculative mind of an adult, stronger than normal magic for a filly, and violent tendencies. Add to that list that I have a teleportation spell that is still random in destination, and that since I was raised by Pinky, I willingly admit that she has influenced me a bit. So you could say that I could just pop up randomly around the city, causing mayhem that Discord believes that I have a knack in. Which I don't need a plan to pull off, just have to do things on a whim.
Ending with a smile, I watched as Cadence's eyes widened in the horror of what I just said. Sadly, I couldn't enjoy the scene for long, for after a moment, Cadence shook her head as she shot me a glare.
Not funny, Aether. You really need to work on that attitude of yours. Depends on your point of view, though. In my eyes, I find my attitude to be perfectly normal.
And what makes you think that hitting ponies with a chair is normal?
Simple. When you're on the mean street of a city, every pony is hostile. If you're not ready to knock out a pony at a moment's notice, then you yourself are going to be knocked out or left dead in some alley.
Cadence once again took on a shocked look before it quickly dissolved into a skeptical one. I just realized something. While you are an alien and I can't argue against your level of expertise due to your role in fixing the barriers, you may be pushing your recent gains to your advantage.
You don't say, so what's your point?
My point is that you have been an adult, but you are in the body of a young filly. For all we know, you may be acting out your age and possibly exaggerating some things from your life. Not that I would belittle what you faced after being alone, but still, I find it hard to believe all that. Cocking an eyebrow, I watched as Cadence had a small smile that had a bit of smugness to it spread over her face.
So you're thinking I'm just one of those foals that wants to be spoiled or push their luck? That I'm telling tales to get what I want? Well, how about I tell you a little fact about how hard life is for the poor of dimensional society?
I'm listening, Cadence replied, taking on the air of a parent that caught their foal stealing from the cookie jar.
Well, one fact is that you don't show weakness if you can. Like, if you were to break a bone, if you were to voice your pain, every pony will take advantage of the fact that you are injured to do what they want with you. So to those that know better, no matter how bad an injury is, it is best to keep your mouth shut and not show any hints of pain. Want me to demonstrate that by breaking my own leg?
You're not going to break your leg. No pony is foolish enough to do that to prove a point, Cadence declared, not knowing that I was going to take her up on that challenge. Eyeing a nearby crystal nightstand, I pointed my left forehoof at Cadence.
Very well then, I will defeat you in this battle of wills.
As Cadence tried to figure out what I meant, I grabbed the nightstand with my magic and brought it down on my left foreleg. What possessed you to break your own leg?
Your wife thought I was just a foal acting out to get what they want.
How is breaking a leg even related to that?
It proves a point that can't be so easily denied.
Not when it causes her to faint.
Not my fault that she's so weak to the sight of a wounded pony.
A broken bone was sticking out of your leg!
Well, I sort of underestimated the strength of my magic on a crystal nightstand. Lesson learned.
I replied as a doctor tried to push the bone protruding from my leg back into it. Which was hard based on how both the doctor and the nurse helping him were trying to keep their lunch down from the sight. Turned out that instead of the nightstand smacking against my leg causing the bone to break, it just bent part of my leg in such a way that it resulted in not only the bone breaking, but literally bursting out of my skin from the sheer force that I used. This of course caused Cadence to scream in terror from the sight before she fainted, causing the castle guard to come into the room only to scream as well. Thankfully it lasted for a short moment before they grabbed me and rushed me to the infirmary.
You know, since I'm not flailing about in pain nor screaming my head off, I think it's a sign that you can be much more forceful in fixing my leg, doctor,
I said, growing impatient at the pace of the doctor's work. This is delicate work and I don't want to cause you any more pain than necessary, the doctor tried to say before I got tired of his excuse, grabbing the forearm of my left foreleg with my other one and snapping the limb back into place. This finally caused the nurse to lose all control over her stomach as she rushed to the nearest trash can. Doesn't that hurt? Shining finally asked after calming down a bit, though it looked like his coat somehow got paler than normal.
It actually does, but I was trying to keep my mind off it. Though since the doctor has yet to do anything to numb the pain and that you had to bring it up... Ah! Some pony fix my leg already! It bucking hurts like Tartarus!
I yelled, flailing my other leg around to emphasize the point that this really hurts. This got the doctor to finally cast some spell that numbed the pain, as both he and the nurse started working on fixing my leg up as best they could. While the doctor was bandaging my leg, Shining let out a sigh before taking on a somber expression. Aether, Cadence was only trying to help you.
Oh, I know, but her approach was just terrible. She really think I was just being like a foal.
Well, you can't blame her since you are a foal, Shining replied, only for me to deadpan at him. I read some of the stuff you did. It's not the kind of stuff an adult would do.
It's not the kind of stuff an adult pony would do, Shining. Every pony really needs to stop placing their ideas of what normal would be on me. Besides, since Pinky is raising me, you can pretty much toss out that idea from the start. I'm pretty sure that I'm getting a bit more friendly and creative with how I react to some things.
How is hitting a pony with a chair friendly?
If I was still the same pony as I was before I came here, I would have done something more harmful. Where I come from, if you don't do something that sends a message to other ponies when they do something to you, others will eventually do it again.
Shining was about to open his mouth to say something when his eyes lost focus for a bit, like he just came upon a sudden realization. Your action of breaking your foreleg, it was to send a message to others than just Cadence and I, right?
Right you are. Hey, can you get some pony to take a picture of this and all the blood I spilled on the floor? I really want to show this to my recruits, especially that whiner Stalwart Jack. Maybe then they'll stop questioning everything I tell them to do,
I said while the doctor placed a cast on my foreleg. My response led to Shining placing a hoof over his face, groaning as she replied, "Based on some of the stories I heard from Twilight, you really are like Pinky in some ways."
Thank you for the comparison, and no, I'm not being sarcastic. I honestly take that as a compliment.
This caused Shining to lift his hoof off his face, only to stare at me with a somewhat confused look. "Really? But I thought you would prefer to be serious, due to how you want to get things done and over with, like when you met Cadence."
Oh, I do want to take serious things on as fast as possible so I can get it out of the way, but Pinky is unpredictable to the point that she almost fried my brain with her antics. However, I pride myself on my adaptability, and Pinky seems to be able to adapt to a lot of things instantly. That, and if I'm unpredictable, that makes it harder for the enemy to figure out what my end goals would be if Equus ever has to go to war. Which I hope is never, but better safe than sorry.
Sighing, Shining just turned away from me as he started to leave the infirmary. "I'm just going to check on my wife now." Waving a hoof to him, I cheerily said,
Hope she's okay, and tell her my leg is fine. Didn't lose any parts of it on the way here.
only for Shining to release a shudder before he left the room. And boom! She finally did it. She finally broke her leg. Now that Stalwart Jack can finally shut the fuck up. But yeah, anywho, I hope you enjoyed this story. It was a lot of fun today. It really was. My cough is getting better, and hopefully in due time I can get back to, well, more uploads if I can. It's kind of hard with the work, but it's manageable, and I like the comments that you guys leave to me. The Discord is still down below in the description if you really want to join, and yeah, standard YouTube spiel. So like, comment, subscribe, and yeah. Hope to see you all in the next episode. Until then, bye bye.